Stephen Miller, our favored sort of shrieking Nazi little fucking freak, who is only put in place for one express purpose, and one express purpose only. He just wants to kill a bunch of fucking brown people and do everything possible to reduce the population of America to what? Just a bunch of dumbass fucking white people. Because again, he has always wanted to be a ethno-nationalist fucking extremist. That's it. We all know of all the sort of like videos and leaks of just how much of an uncomfortable fucking weirdo he is. And it's all because of the fact that he was sort of emasculated by the fact that his rich, well-off family was moved to a neighborhood which was still a pretty well-off, good neighborhood, but unfortunately had a few too many brown people for Stephen Miller's fucking liking, specifically Latinos and Latinas. Shadow the Hedgehog would very much so disapprove. And he's just still salty about the fact that in high school, a Latina fucking won valedictorian instead of his stupid-looking fucking head ass. But unfortunately, it seems like he's starting to significantly get fucking isolated for the fact that he is a really, 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 because of just how much of like an ostensible little weirdo he is. So I guess like perhaps, just maybe, Stephen Miller will no longer be the fucking shadow president. I don't know, maybe he saw like a thick booty Latina in his fucking neighborhood, was just like, how the fuck do you have such a fat ass or something? Ugh, disgusting. I'm going to want to exterminate all Latinas or some shit. I don't fucking know. Here's the thing, Miller's mission of boosting deportation numbers of necessity requires arresting people who are not criminals or gang members, people who have jobs and have become integrated into U.S. communities, because there's no other way to get the removals up, but it makes us less safe. Again, we've looked at the statistics for this. Most of the people that DHS and ICE are detaining, 73% of them have no fucking criminal record whatsoever. Again, migrants, especially like migrants who fucking hopped over the border illegally, or, you know, came in through ports of entry, or naturalized citizens, or permanent residents, what have you, are less likely to commit crime in comparison to naturally born fucking citizens. Again, this was never about deporting all the fucking criminals. Never. Never, ever, 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 ever. It was about just going after a bunch of well-to-do meaning people because of their color of the skin. That is it. Because again, Stephen Miller is a fucking freak. Miller plainly places more importance on reducing the total of people here, or trying to get here, than on removing people who pose any actual danger. All the like fucking videos of the Nazi freaks online who keep celebrating the fact that, oh, during the 1930s, guess what only race was living in America? It was white people, and that's when everything was better. It's like, yeah, the 1930s and 1920s. It's a great sort of like time and place for people to be fucking selecting. Morons. He appears to be actively prioritizing shifting the ethnic mix of the country over public safety. A Nazi's gonna Nazi? Who would have fucking thought? Miller's alternative is a horror. He has set in motion a vicious math problem. His deportation machinery is arresting people faster than they are being removed. To hold them, he's now looking to build out a network of vast warehouses, concentration camps. We all know about how these people are being treated within these fucking concentration camps. Maggots in their food, they barely get enough to eat, they have like nowhere to fucking sleep, their water supplies are dog shit, they get treated like complete fucking dog water, and there's a lot of instances of ICE agents and DHS agents raping people, like unironically, and just like doing like weird fucking hostage exchanges within these concentration camps. It's insane. We're going to end up with a massively expanded immigrant carceral state at the enormous cost to all of us, both in taxpayer dollars and in searing social conflict that Miller's masked stormtroopers have unleashed on the streets of U.S. cities. Genuinely fucking insane. But here, an article about this. Now, Trump says the administration is reviewing everything about Minneapolis shooting. There is specific mentions here, right here, about what Stephen Miller is doing, and the fact that Stephen Miller might become the first fucking fall guy, specifically here. Because, again, people really do not like what Stephen Miller is doing here specifically. So, Trump declined to say whether the federal officer who fatally shot a man this weekend had acted appropriately and said the administration was reviewing the incident. The fact that they're actually saying this is insane. That's how you know it's really, really fucking bad. Because, again, we all know what's happening in Minnesota. This shit's more than likely being orchestrated by who? Stephen fucking Miller. In a 5-minute telephone interview with the Wall Street Journal on Sunday, Trump didn't directly answer when asked twice whether the officer who shot Alex Pretti had done the right thing. Pressed further, the president said, we're reviewing everything, and will come down with a determination. Administration officials have publicly defended the officer. Yep, we've seen all the dumbasses doing this. Stephen Miller himself has also called the guy a domestic terrorist and a wannabe assassin. Insanity. Like, to say that about Alex Pretti is just non-fucking-sensical when he wasn't even fucking holding a gun the whole time. The president criticized Pretti, the 37-year-old who was killed by federal border patrol agents Saturday morning on a Minneapolis street for carrying a gun during protest activity. Stupid. Second Amendment, motherfucker. Open permit to fucking carry. He had a license in order to be able to do that. He can carry if he wants. Now, we can get into if it's a necessarily good idea to carry a weapon into a situation like that. Sure, yeah, whatever. But he's allowed to fucking do that. That's his God-given right in order to carry a fucking gun. State law allows them. The Constitution allows it. There ain't shit that you can do about it. I don't like any shooting. I don't like it. But I don't like it when somebody goes into a protest and he's got a very powerful, fully loaded gun with 2 magazines loaded up with bullets also. That doesn't play good either. Again, complete fucking copium here. But Trump has to basically try to save face and defend the actions of his, like, schizo fucking freaks because, again, he just has to. He has to lie and do everything possible in order to just excuse the actions of these Gestapo fucking freaks. Trump also signaled a willingness to eventually withdraw immigration enforcement officials from the Minneapolis area because, again, he knows how unpopular it is. At some point, we will leave. We've done it. They've done a phenomenal job, he said. Trump didn't offer a time frame for when agents might depart. Asked if agents would leave soon, he praised what the administration had done already in Minnesota and said, we'll leave a different group of people there for the financial fraud. The DOJ and the FBI, who was already fucking investigating that shit. Yeah, of course, talking about the welfare scandal. Now he's going to say that California is going to be much bigger because that's what Nick Shirley said. Because, again, the whole basis of all this is because of fucking Nick Shirley. That's great, fantastic, just fucking freak Nick Shirley. Trump asserted that Pretti was carrying a very dangerous gun, a dangerous and unpredictable gun. The reason why he's saying this, the very dangerous gun, a dangerous and unpredictable gun, is because that model of Sig Sauer has had lawsuits for random fucking discharges. It's a gun that goes off when people don't know it. The Department of Homeland Security said Pretti was carrying a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. Pretti, an intensive care nurse, was filming Border Patrol agents on a Minneapolis street Saturday morning when he was shot. He died at the scene. Again, this is what I mean by, okay, all the fucking media also is very, very much so complicit in all this. He was not holding the gun. He never fucking brandished the fucking gun. So, he just got shot for literally no reason. For what exactly? Meh, whatever. Hours after the shooting, Department of Homeland Security alleged that Pretti violently resisted disarmament. He didn't. Obviously, lie by Kristi Noem. ICE has ramped up deportations in large cities across the U.S. The administration sent federal officers to Minnesota over objections of state and local officials. Again, illegal. They shot Renee and Nicole Good. Trump's advisors has been in discussions for weeks about the administration's aggressive deportation policies, and Saturday's shooting brought new urgency to these conversations. Some of the president's aides have come to see the increasingly volatile situation in Minneapolis as a political liability, even as the White House has publicly doubled down on its operations in the city. According to administration officials, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles has taken repeated calls from Minnesota officials, the administration officials said. We all know they've been consistently just like begging the administration to be like, can you please stop this? You're just randomly killing people and everything you're doing is illegal. Weak response, of course, by these officials. They should just be deploying the National Guard and arresting these roving bands of fucking marauders. But again, they're not going to do that because Democrats are fucking cowards. And we've listened to this before. We all know that there is the Republicans are starting to think about potentially doing an investigation with the House Oversight Committee. Might be taking a look into what's going on, launching a probe into Minneapolis, and getting a bunch of senior DHS officials to fucking testify in front of Congress. Some of the administration worried that public polling and sentiment have turned against the administration's immigration actions in cities, and some discussions have centered on how to continue deportations without clashing with protesters. Officials said Trump advisor Stephen Miller has continued to push for aggressive immigration enforcement, arguing the administration shouldn't back down in Minneapolis. Again, we all know that Stephen Miller's motivations for this is to just deport people because they have a different fucking color of skin. He's isolating himself inherently. When everyone is starting to say, like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. We know that Stephen Miller very often is used as a point man in a lot of instances for this specifically. And the reason for that is because he's just a big old fucking go-getter who just wants to go out there, fondle Trump's balls and basically just do everything possible in order to just make the lives of the American people significantly fucking worse. That's all that there really is to this. Again, it's never about crime or drugs or whatever. The vast majority of people, as has been said in this little blurb here that was got out of the New Republic, it was never about crime. It's about affecting the ethnic mix of the country over public safety. The vast majority, and this is 70+% of people that are basically being apprehended by ICE and DHS are just have no fucking criminal convictions on their record. They're just doing this because the cruelty is the fucking point. If I were President Trump, I would almost think, okay, if the mayor and the governor are going to put our ICE officials in harm's way and there's a chance of losing more innocent lives, then maybe go to another city and let the people of Minneapolis decide. They've made it very clear they want you dumbasses out. Trump administration officials said they were planning to make a concerted effort in the coming weeks to improve ICE's image by highlighting what agents are doing in other places besides Minneapolis. Yeah, you're going to try to sweep everything under the rug because, again, they let Stephen Miller decide to take the wheel on this specifically and just let him do whatever the fuck he wants. And it turns out it's been a complete fucking failure, and he's beginning to self-isolate himself because it turns out most of these people within the Trump administration are not committed ideological Nazis like Stephen Miller is. Stephen Miller is a Nazi. Period. End of story. There may be a bunch of other low-level guys who may be like weird fucking groypers and stuff like that, but most of the administration are not as ideologically committed as, say, a bunch of those fucking groyper freaks, probably within Doge, and as Stephen Miller. Period. End of fucking story. A lot of them are just doing this for clout and for social media, for their fucking podcasts. Like, unironically. A lot of people within the Trump administration are just wannabe fucking podcasters and influencers. That is literally it. But Stephen Miller, he's committed, ideologically speaking. He just fundamentally wants to make the lives worse for people in order to go after the fucking Latinos and Latinas that he's so fucking jealous of. That's like literally it. It's just one fucking bald, stupid, egg-headed asshole who just is jealous about the fact that Latinas have fat asses and not the weirdo white people who decided to, I don't know, probably reject his stupid-looking head ass for being such a off-putting fucking little freak in high school. Though officials have privately discussed polling showing the public is souring on their operations. Many in the administration think that winding down their efforts in Minneapolis would amount to a capitulation to the left, the officials said. Nonsense. Just nonsense. Even people within your administration, within your fucking caucus, is saying like, yeah, we may have to do a probe into all of this. This is genuinely fucking insane what's going on here. And it's really, really bad. Nuts. It's just nuts, dude. Nobody, including President Trump, wants to see people get shot or hurt. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said, calling on state and local officials to work more closely with the administration to remove from Minnesota people who are living in the country illegally. Yeah, dude. 73% say otherwise, and only 5% of the people that these Gestapo little fucking freaks apprehend are living there illegally. Just a bunch of fucking liars. But this is what happens when you let Stephen Miller take the wheel on deportation sort of operations. A bunch of people get fucking shot for saying what ICE is doing is wrong. Because again, the point of this for Stephen Miller has always been about one thing and one thing only. Get those deportation numbers up and get rid of all the fucking stinky brown people, because he's like an emasculated fucking weirdo who's jealous about the fact that a Latina fucking won valedictorian in his fucking high school, and the fact that he moved to a slightly poorer neighborhood that had fucking Hispanic people in it. That is literally it. The most pathetic reason, I think, on the planet to be a weirdo fucking emasculated fucking Nazi. But then again, we're talking about Stephen Miller here, who is a pathetic emasculated fucking weirdo whose wife appears in the Epstein files as a gift to fucking Steve Bannon and was more than likely, trafficked by fucking Jeffrey Epstein. Don't think there's really much else to say besides Stephen Miller is a Nazi little fucking freak.